got a short practice that I thought I'd talk about that was helpful to me at certain points that I think would be helpful to get some relief from thinking as you try to see through it. Um, it's called cat and mouse hole. So when you're working with your thoughts and they're coming and there's tons and tons of thoughts, thoughts don't really like to be looked at directly. They can be seen to be empty, they can vanish. Um, Putting attention on them is one method of looking at them. They can also be completely ignored, and that's a different practice. But what I'm talking about here is looking directly into the mind, into the thoughts, and asking, what's the next thought going to be? Be get real curious about it. Uh, Ask yourself, like, can I predict what the next thought will be? And then look real carefully. Be really curious about what the next thought's going to be. This can show you one that there's no one there creating those thoughts. They're just coming based on cause and conditions. Two, it's almost like catching a kid in the cookie jar. When you look directly at thoughts and you ask a question like that or you're really, really curious about them, they tend to slow down a whole lot. And sometimes you can even make your mind stop completely for a few seconds, which can actually feel quite relieving if you've been bombarded by your thoughts and believing they're your thoughts all the time. So it's just a little practice. So be like a cat who's sitting there waiting for a mouse to come out of its mouse hole. And be really curious and look directly at your thoughts. Look directly at your mind. And just be really curious. The cat is sitting there waiting for the mouse, and the mouse is afraid to come out because it knows the cat is looking straight at the mouse hole. It knows something's there. So with your attention on your mind, the thought system knows it's there. It's kind of a trick. It's a little bit of a trick to give yourself a gap, some breathing room there. And when you do this with real curiosity and you really, really want to know what's the next thought going to be, and you ask that question out loud and you look, it has a freezing effect on the mind for whatever reason. It is like the attention is creating a gap in experience for you to sit in. So don't waste it. When it comes up and it slows down, get real curious. And then when the gap comes, notice the gap. Examine the gap. Without a concept in that gap, where am I? That whole time right there was no thought on my end. It's just experience. So if you ask that question and you get super curious like that cat and you're super not distracted and asking that question, what's the next thought going to be? It's like you're doing an intention of attention. And that will slow the mind down and may even stop it completely. But even if the thoughts don't stop all the way, they will slow down. And you can just ask over and again. And if the thoughts come back really fast, just keep doing it. Just do it as a practice for a few minutes. What's the next thought going to be? And look. And if no thought comes, or you get that gap, stay in the gap. And then look there. And then maybe ask, what's closer than thought? What is what is being experienced right now before thought comes? What's prior to the next thought? Maybe you'll pop right out of conceptual land right into what you are.